everybody, Pat Huntoon here, and today we're going to be making that cute chocolate card you saw at the beginning of the tutorial. So this just takes a few supplies. Let me show you what we'll be using today. We'll be using the SS158 Inside Out Love is in the Air set of 10. Inside out is where you have something for the outside of the card, and then there's a snarky sentiment that goes along with that. Today we're going to be using All You Need Is Love for the outside, and the inside of our card will say, but a little chocolate now and then doesn't hurt. So we'll be creating our own little chocolate bar today. We're going to be using Rouge Catherine Pooler ink and Icing on the Cake Catherine Pooler ink, along with a brown blending brush. We're going to be using a scallop punch. However, the scallop punch isn't necessary. You can hand cut, you can use a die cut, however you want to create what looks like teeth marks. That's what we're recreating there. I'm also using a little heart punch to embellish my card, but that's totally optional. I'm also using an old Cuttlebug embossing folder, little bubbly one, just to add some texture to my chocolate. I've done it without the texture. You could also stamp into it. However you want to add just a little extra interest to your chocolate is a great thing to do. So if you don't have this particular embossing folder, use what you have on hand. Then we have a piece of brown cardstock, which is 4 5/8 by 3 1/2. And a silver piece of cardstock, which is 3 3/4 by 4 7/8, and we'll be cutting this one down even further. And then a regular 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 piece of cardstock as our base. So that's where we're actually starting. We're starting with our base right now, and I'm going to fold this in half to create my base. And then I will be doing two things to this. I'm going to stamp the All You Need Is Love in red in the outside corner right about here. And then I'm going to be stamping But a Little Chocolate Now and Then Doesn't Hurt on the inside of this. So let me do that and come right back to you. So I've stamped the All You Need Is Love in the far corner there, and But a Little Chocolate Now and Then Doesn't Hurt on the inside. So let's get started. There's one more thing you need. You need a few strips of the same brown that you used for this piece. You're going to be making 8 pieces that are 1 1 1/4 inches. So 8 of these. And you're going to be using 8 that are 3/4 by 1 inch. So the way I did mine was I ran them through my Cuttlebug with the texture. And then I'm going to be taking the icing on the cake here and just going over the top to highlight that texture. And then I will cut these down into the pieces I need for the top portion. So this is the 3/4 by 1 inch piece. Let me finish that and come right back. Okay, so once you have all 8 pieces cut for the bottom, again, that's 1 by 1 1/4 in brown, and then the 8 textural pieces are 3/4 by 1 inch in brown. Once you have those all cut, then you can start just highlighting these. So I like to take my, this is the base of my chocolate bar, so I just like to add a little ink to the edges here. And I have an ink shade that is slightly darker than the brown paper. However, it does soak in somewhat. So even though it looks dark while I'm putting it on, it will fade a little bit on this paper. So I'm going to be doing the base, and then I'm going to be doing all 8 of these. So once they are all highlighted like that, you're going to be attaching one of the textural to one of the bases. So I'm going to do that off camera and come right back. Okay, our next step is going to be taking a chomp out of this chocolate bar before we put the rest of this together. So what I've done here is I have taken and placed this down where I think I want my chocolate bar to go. And then I've made a little tiny mark in my chocolate bar here. Just 3 little marks there. Can you see that? And that will be where my chomp goes. So I'm going to just roughly chomp on this. And I keep saying chomp as if I'm going to chew it, but I'm just going to be taking the punch here and punching this. So now I have that punched. And the all you need is love is in there, and I even have a little bit of room there to move it around if I need to. Now you're going to layer your pieces on top of your chocolate bar, and you're going to just put them evenly on here. And what I did was I started, and I did about 1/8 from each end. I'm sorry, excuse me. I put them about 1/4 of an inch from each end. So just kind of place them down. This one will overlap your chomp, your bite, and this one will overlap. So place them how you think you want them, and then start placing them down. We're going to cut that, and we're going to cut that so that we have, it looks like somebody took a bite out of it. Okay, so I will do that and come right back. Okay, so now I've attached all my backgrounds. Anywhere it overlaps where the scallop was, I'm just going to take my scallop punch and line it back up again. Okay, so because I'm punching 2 levels there, I wasn't able to do it, but I can cut that. So now it is perfectly chomped there. And the final thing we're going to do with this top part is I'm going to add the silver backing to it. Now, this was kind of meant to evoke a chocolate bar. So I'm going to put it there and put it in place, and then just hand cut underneath it. It doesn't need to be perfect. What you don't want is having it be where you would have bitten it. So there we go. No one's going to see that. And attach those 2 together. Attach the chocolate bar to the silver and then place that on the base cardstock. And now I'm just going to add a couple of little hearts here just to give it a little more color. There, and probably there, and one on the inside. And my card is done. Okay, so that is our tutorial today. I do want to show you one other thing. The first one I made, I had decided, remember I told you it's not necessary to have that scallop. So on this one, I just made regular squares and I popped them up. So they're popped on there. And then on the inside, I just took a couple bites out of my cardstock there. So that's 2 different ways that you can make this. You can make it either popped or you can make it with a texture. So that's our tutorial today. I hope you enjoyed seeing our chocolate bar card. If you did, please give me a thumbs up on YouTube and consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you for watching today. Bye now.